time. There's a brother standing there that I lived in the neighborhood, and he brought me into the nation. And they started teaching this, but then all of a sudden, they jumped out of here and went straight to the Quran, where this man is that right there. And they stopped at a certain point. Use this. So I went from there, and while I was studying that, I was also kept on reading this. But I didn't have a true understanding because that was, it was interfering. So once I got myself away from this, I let my mind rest and just looked around and looked to see things. But I stayed with this, and I heard a Christian person talking one time. And I tried to ride with them, but they wasn't going where this felt. And about 2.5 years ago, something just snapped in me. I was doing my little YouTube videos, going back over the Run DMCs and everything, and right there, some Hebrew, one of them pop up. Scroll to the next page, and he all rap music. There's one Hebrew right there. So I finally listened to it, and the guy said, to understand us, go to the curse first. Watch this movie named The Curse. So I watched it. From that point on, yeah, and then on top of that, by me already studying with the nation, that's why I got one Bible downstairs that I use for the nation I won't bring out no more, because I don't read it great. But when I started looking into this again, I said, hey, this right here is really starting to build up to be somebody I know. And from that point on, it's just been a downhill thing. Like I said, when I hooked up with this brother, I think at the time he started to acknowledge this. Next minute I noticed that he changed his name. Before then he was putting text up, and when he put his name up, we had chat back and forth. And the other day I was out here speaking, and I called him like a couple days before, telling him I want to come be with y'all. And brother, I know he's busy, so he did his thing. But so having my brother pulled up with one of his friends, and my brother said, "This is the brother I be telling you about." So I got to chatting with him. As soon as I got to chatting with him, turned around, he called. I said, that must be time. Must be time. Yeah, most time. But yeah, man, all due praise, because really, man, this right here, I always felt it, but I didn't know the words. Right. Even though there's in my eyes, I could see that it wasn't right, because if I look at my childhood, I can say I had the best of times. But when I start hearing about end times, and my eyes kind of go bigger, like, man, these kids ain't acting like us right here. These kids is totally different. Yeah, and you can try to classify it as it's the drug problem from the fathers not being in the home first, and from that point on, each kid was born without a father, and it broke the family chain. And you can look at that, but
we're gonna touch all that.
All that I know it's all in here. I done seen it, so that's why I had to get with y'all, man, so I can increase my knowledge, man. So it's like bringing groceries home, and you put your meat on the table, and the kids look at it and say, "Oh, babe, what's that? Oh, we're gonna make some meatloaf out of this, some potatoes out of this." This thing, okay. Right. But it ain't good until you put it all together. And that's what they waiting for. That's what they waiting for. So I got to put it together so I can bring it here.
Hold up. What's up, man? Just a personal, testimony of myself. When I was about 16. Actually, when I was a kid, I used to read the Bible to my mom until she went to sleep.
Right.
She would ask me at 8, 9 o'clock at night, "Hey, can you get up and read me the Bible?" I didn't know what I was reading, but I'll be reading to her till she fell asleep. So she would always tell me, like, you got something special going on with that Bible. You got something special. So when I hit like 17, I actually got ordained to be a minister in the church. So, I'm in the church, and it's stuff looking a little shaky. Like, you can see behind the scenes, it's all about that dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen people, pastor and the treasurer, have arguments about the money, this, that, and that. Like, wow. But they telling you, "Oh man, don't worry about it. That's just this, that." So, I'm young, that sounds good. So my cousin hit me up the day before I was supposed to do my first sermon. And, because I had went through the school, all of that. And he was like, my pastor was like, "You gotta get a license. You gotta get a license." And I was like, wow. Like, I just want to preach to the people outside. You know what I'm saying? And when I actually got the license, the day before I was supposed to preach my first sermon, my cousin called me and said, "Look, man, we the Israelites, Jesus is black, this, that, and the other, and some in me like got real emotional. I just started crying, and I was like, dude, this is the truth. It was like the spirit was waking me up, like, knock, knock, this is it, this is it. And as soon as I was getting ready to get off the phone with him, my pastor called with some type of prophet on the phone. Now this is how you know it was Satan. It was right back to back. And I'm on the phone with him. He's like, what's wrong? It sounds like something wrong with you. I'm like, look, man, Jesus, black, this, that. He was like, where are you getting this from? This, that, and the other. He was like, don't believe all that. You know, go to Psalms, what did he say? Psalms 93, Psalms 91. He was like, you know, you're going to be all right. Don't let the devil get into you before you're supposed to preach your first sermon. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I ain't listen. I ain't called my cousin back then. I'm like, it's all right. But he actually came to the church the next day. Like, look, man, you got to come up out of here. This ain't where it's at. He talking to the pastor, but at the time he was new to the knowledge himself. So the pastor kind of getting with him with the script. Okay. So I actually ended up preaching that day. And I told the pastor, I'm like, I don't want to take no tithes and offering, no none of that. As soon as I get done with my sermon, he like, hey, we're taking tithes and offering for the brother. I'm like, huh? I just said I didn't. Then he whispered in my ear, you know you got to get us back to the church, right? I said, what? So they grabbed the collection plate, took it in the back. And dude was putting money in his coat jacket. I'm like, this is wicked. I'm like, I'm done. My first sermon was my last one. I was through. Went to college, playing basketball for Kentucky State, good grades, and some just told me, you ain't supposed to be here. It just made me stop everything. Coaches, you know what I'm saying, calling, teachers calling my dorm. You know, college teachers don't care nothing about you. They be getting that check. They call. Yeah, what's going on with you? Emailing? I'm like, ain't it? We got the searcher. That's where it was at. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely was an eye-opening experience, man. I ain't looked back. You know what I'm saying? So you know, definitely feel where you're coming from. Where it's like there's little bits and pieces throughout your life that lead you to where we at today. You know what I'm saying? So it's all praise to the Most High.
And, you know, at the time you're going through them little stuff, you don't see them until you get to where you're supposed to be at. When the Most High says, okay, wake up.
Right.
That's exactly how he did me. I mean, I believe like I was just walking to that cliff, had one foot about to go over, like you say, the right or the left. And I believe he just got me by the head, turned me around. You know, go this way. But I'll tell the key word. You have to search. Most time you're searching for real, he's gonna make this available to you. Like for real, he's gonna show you these mysteries in here. That's what they are. They're mysteries. You know, and they only Israel can unlock them. You know, to be honest.
I got a brother, man, that want to kind of sit in with us.
Oh, no.
Huh?
No, this is free for everybody.
All right. Hey, tell him to bring a chair down. And one of his chairs. The photo-away chair.
That's for everybody.
Yeah, my brother right here, man, he's straight across the street, man. And this is who I chat with. You know what I'm saying? When I find some information that I believe because I done researched it and not just took it for what it said. No, I go through this, and I look at it and say, okay, this got to be it right here. No, man. But he said, yeah, that's the one right there. That's why I said, well, every time I go to my YouTube page, I just cut it on. And I see all the stuff that pop up. But I'll scroll for a minute, or either I just sit there and look at it and say, now today you want me to go here. So I put this up and pick up my little notes right here, and I go back and work all the verses I wrote down before. I go back and read them and to get an understanding of them.
I don't get the whole shot, but that's good enough.
Yeah, I mentioned to him, man, the one time we were trying to hook up, I was trying to get him to come with me.
Okay.
My brother Janton right here, man.
Kodesh.
Any questions like you had just off the top of your head, or go through?
It just more or less, man, with me, it's clarifying. You know what I'm saying? To make sure I got the true understanding of certain clips, I say, like the Esau issue. You know, to make sure I got that correct before I say him or whatever. And really, I just, you know, I want to say I know this, but I don't know this until I can get the numbers with the verses. And that's what I want to collab with. You know, I need, like my brother says, hey, I can't really learn it until I get a teacher.
Okay.
So that's why I want a teacher. I just don't want to be a student who's just standing on the sideline. I'm here to go where he needs me to go, and I need somebody to help me get where I need to go.
Okay. I'm gonna just open the script, man. I like to go to this just to remind us who we are, what we mean to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? As far as our people go. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. What do you got? You know, in order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you came from.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people
So we're talking to the children of Israel right now. He said we are a holy people, right? Yeah.
unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power hath chosen you to be a special people unto himself.
He chose us to be special to him. You know what I'm saying? It's billions of people in the world, but the children of Israel is who he chose to be special to himself. You know what I'm saying? If you read through the book of Jubilees, he only separated a couple of things from himself, right? Which is the Messiah, right? You got Sabbath day and his people, right? So these are the things that he claimed as his. You know what I'm saying? So he said, you special to me, right? Read.
Above all people.
What?
Above all people
Uh-huh.
that are upon the face of the earth.
So the children of Israel was made to be above all people that's on the face of the earth. But if you look at it now, we on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? You going?
Verse 7. The Most High did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people.
So he didn't choose us because there was a lot of us. He said, y'all are the fewest of all people. You know what I'm saying? If you read through Ezekiel chapter 16, he talk about all the other nations looked upon us as spittle. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even pee on us if we was on fire, so to speak, right? And he came past and was like, you know what? He's mine right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and make y'all a great nation. You know what I'm saying?
Verse 8. But because the Most High loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, has the Most High brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
So he brought us up out of Egypt. You know the story, that let my people go. You know what I'm saying? With Moses, that was us. Right? So he's reminding us, look, y'all are a special people. You know what I'm saying? But the reason we're in the position we're in right now is because we didn't keep the commandments. What he told us to do from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Get Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. Because everything come with a price. He wasn't just going to give it to us for free.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's whatever you do in life. Everything comes with a price. So if you do this thing, it's going to be good. Right? Matter of fact, get verse 1, Deuteronomy 28 verse 1 first. And then we're going to jump to verse 15. Now remember, he told us we was a special people above everybody, right?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently,
If you will do what?
hearken diligently
So he said, if you going to listen to me, listen to me good, right?
unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Most High thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So he said, if you do this thing, if you keep the commandments, I'm going to put you on high above all nations of the earth, right? So seeing as though we're in the position we in right now, right, we chose the other thing.
Right.
All right, go to verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So if we didn't do it, you know what I'm saying, if we ain't fulfill our part of the contract, our part of the agreement, right, we was going to inherit these curses rather than the blessings.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So when we was out in the cotton fields, you know what I'm saying, we was picking cotton in sweltering heat. You know what I'm saying? We was cursed in the fields, right? It says, cursed shall you be in the city. We live, all of our people live in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. You got to worry about somebody killing you for your shoes. You got to worry about somebody killing you just because you look at them wrong. You know what I'm saying? We cursed in the cities. You know what I'm saying? Get verse 30.
Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
So the Most High said, you're going to have a wife and another man going to lie with her. We can take this back to slavery days, right? You had you a wife, master bust in and do what? I want that woman. Ain't nothing we could do about it. Right? You can fast forward that to now, right? Any man that got a woman, you know what I'm saying, another brother is plotting on how he going to get your woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These curses are still on us, right? Read.
Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
So we built Master's house, but we were staying in shacks. We built America, and we staying in the ghetto, in the slums. You know what I'm saying?
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
So we was picking the cotton, we was planting all of these good foods and this, that, and the other, but we was giving pork. We was giving the bottom of the bottom. That's why we had to make stuff work with the pig.
Right.
Chickens, pig feet. You know what I'm saying? We had to make stuff work because we weren't giving the best.
Right.
Right? See? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's like my grandma told me. She said, we survived off of this. And that's the key word, survive. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they were given. You know what I'm saying? Slave masters gave us this thing knowing that it was against our law. You know what I mean? Verse 32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in your hand.
So our sons and our daughters, right? Jump back to slavery times. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we hopped up off them ships, they were snatching our kids from us. You know what I'm saying? But why? Because you're not about to teach these kids what y'all know about who you are. We gonna teach them what we want them to know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even today, Child Protective Services can come snatch your kids. You know what I'm saying? Without, you know, they can deem you an unfit parent. You know what I'm saying? Take your kids, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Same back then, same now. Right? Get verse 36.
Verse 36. The Most High shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
So when we came over here, we didn't know nothing about no English language. We didn't know nothing about none of this magic, right? We said we're going to serve other gods, wood and stone. Now, if you look at black people, right, what are the two predominant religions that we use?
Islam and Christianity.
Islam and Christianity. Wood worship and stone worship. That crosses that wood worship. Exactly. It's that stone worship. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people try to say, oh, that could have happened to anybody. You know, so get Daniel chapter 9 and verse 11. This could have happened to anybody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people came on slave ships to a place, and you know what I'm saying? But I'll show you something.
So 9/11. The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
So Israel transgressed the law, right? That verse 15, we talking about Deuteronomy 28. Read.
Even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us,
So these curses was poured upon us, right? Read.
and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him.
So again, these curses that we're going through, he said these things are going to come to pass, right? Because we sinned against the Most High. Read. But this the kicker.
Verse 12. And he has confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges, that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil.
He brought upon us a great evil, right? Read.
For under the whole heaven,
For under the what?
the whole heaven
Uh-huh.
has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem.
So this thing that done happen to our people, under the whole heaven, the whole earth, ain't nobody went through what the children of Israel went through. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people try, a lot of people went into slavery. The scripture says ain't nobody went through what the children of Israel went through. You know what I'm saying? Right? Read again. It says, he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to these curses. Ain't nobody went through this stuff like we do. They try to talk about the Jewish Holocaust, which is a myth, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And even with that, what they say, 6 million people died.
They want to fool 6 million. It was everybody else that wasn't German.
Exactly. And 99 million of us died on the way.
We were here.
You know what I'm saying? Another 56 million of us died in abortion. You know what I'm saying? So nothing like this has happened to anybody else on the face of the planet. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Most High shall lead thee.
He said we're gonna be an astonishment, right? That's something to laugh at, something to look upon, like, look at them niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at us. They put the black face paint on, you know what I'm saying, with the sand bowl, with the chicken and the watermelon in his hand, right? Among all nations, read.
Thou shalt carry much...
Wait, go back to that astonishment.
Okay. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb.
He said we're going to become a proverb. What's one of them old sayings? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The original.
Catch a nigga by
Catch
his
a
toe.
nigga by his toe. You know what I'm saying? What no catch a tiger? That don't even make sense. Catch a nigga by his toe if you holler, let him go. Right? That was a proverb, right? And a what?
And a byword.
A byword. I'm gonna ask you, brother. What is one word that anybody on the face of the planet can call you in any nation, China, Japanese, wherever? Nigga. Get Acts 13 and 1. They called us this in the script. You know what I'm saying? When we got over there in them Grecian lands, they was calling us the same thing. Nigga. Acts 13 and 1. Now originally, they picked us up from the Niger River. Niger. But of course, the Europeans is not going, you know what I'm saying? They're going to put their own twist to it, right? Yeah, go.
The book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers,
So this was Antioch. This is a Grecian city, right? Read.
as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Nigger,
So Barnabas and Simeon, which was Israelites, were called what?
was called Nigger.
Now I got my coordinates on my phone. You got a coordinates which rock?
No, it's on my phone.
Okay, I got it on my phone. I'm gonna show you this word in the scriptures and what it means. Okay. 13:1. This word Niger or Niger. What did that say right there?
Black.
It means black, right? Look down at the bottom. On the Strong's definition.
Of Latin origin, black, nigger, Christian, or nigger.
So that word Christian is even in there. Another byword that they called us. And we hold it to be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you think about black, right? They got the word nigger. Negro, which is black and what? Spanish. Which they call us Negroes. You know what I'm saying? All of these type of terms, they call these are bywords. You know what I'm saying? And it said among all nations. I don't care who said it. You know what I'm saying? It piss us off. Right? Get a verse, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 43.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Stranger that is within us should get up very high, right? So that's the Gentiles, right? Or as we can see, that's the Europeans right now, right? They get up very high. Who do we go to for anything? We have to go to them, right? Read.
And you shall come down very low. He shall lend to thee.
So whenever you need a loan, whenever you need a car, you got to go to them. You know what I'm saying? They the ones who got to lend you money. Ain't no banks coming to us saying, hey, can we borrow a couple dollars? You know what I'm saying? Read.
And thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So these curses, if you ever want to know who the children of Israel are, these curses is going to be that sign. Wherever these curses are, that's who the children of Israel is. You know what I'm saying? He said it's going to be on us forever until he chooses to get us up out of this place.
Like the Haitians.
You know what I'm saying? So until we get up out of this place, this thing is going to be on us. Right? Go to Isaiah chapter 42 and 22. Show you another one. Because I know you were saying that you was incarcerated before, right?
Right.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 42 and 22.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
This is a people what?
Robbed and
So
spoiled.
we were robbed of our homeland, and that word spoiled means ruined. Right? We were robbed and ruined. Read.
They are all of them snared in holes,
Uh-huh.
and they are hid in prison houses.
We hid in prison houses. Why is it that we make up 50% of this country's population and over 70% of the prison population? That don't make no sense. You get what I'm saying? Read.
They are for a prey, and none delivereth,
Uh-huh.
for a spoil, and none saith restore.
So even after our people do their time, right, it says none saith restore. But you still got a felony on your record. You still got that record. Nobody's going to hire you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Ain't no restoration. They say you do the crime, you do the time. That's supposed to be it. That is your restoration, supposedly, right?
Exactly.
But it's still on. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. See, that's the curse. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to us because of our insubordination to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to live through it. All right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's get verse 48.
Verse 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
When we stepped off them ships, we was hungry, thirsty, and butt naked. Right now, in order for us to get food, we got to go to the mother nation. We got to go to these grocery stores ran by these Chaldeans, or ran by the so-called white man, ran by the Arab. You know what I'm saying? When we need gas, where we got to go? We got to go to the Arab, right? You know what I'm saying? We in want of all things, read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
When we got off the ships, we had yokes of iron upon our neck. You know what I'm saying? We was chained together. Nothing. It says until he has destroyed you. Now, those yokes and irons were on our necks so long that when they took them off, we still wasn't running. You know what I'm saying? Because you was already mentally scarred. Just like how we are now. You know what I'm saying? We'll kill each other, but won't go down to Wall Street and try to rob none of them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to rob our brother who ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Verse 50.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
In fact, get verse 49 now.
Verse 49. The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth.
So, back in the day, our people thought this earth was flat.
Right.
He said he was going to bring a nation against us from far, right? Read.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Swift as the eagle flies. So, if you look at America, the national bird, it's a what? It's an eagle. Right? On the back of a quarter, it's an eagle. Back of a dollar, it's an eagle. You know what I'm saying? Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So when we got over here, we ain't know English, like I was saying earlier, right? We were singing songs like Kumbaya. That's Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? That means come by here, my Lord, right? You know what I'm saying? We were singing songs like that. We didn't know nothing about no English. They had to teach us this. You know what I'm saying? To get us farther away from our scripture. Right? Exactly. What, I believe Napoleon, if I'm not mistaken, had this and he says, the worst thing you could do is let your enemy teach your child. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna instill in them what they want them to know. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna let them know how it was that made them a great people. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach our kids that now. Exactly. And it was the history classes in school. Oh, George Washington. Oh, this. You know what I'm saying? Nothing about our people.
1 month supposed to be for black, but,
Exactly.
but they don't do it to the end of the month.
Exactly. Oh, you might get a week.
Yeah.
You might get a week. You know what I'm saying? Get verse 50.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Y'all remember that candy, Sugar Babies? Now, the original candy for that, it was kids. They would send our children on rafts into the ocean, right? Or into the rivers or the lakes or whatever. They would do crocodile bait. You know what I'm saying? Crocodiles would eat our baby. They would use them as bait. They would reel the crocodile in. You know what I'm saying?
They feed our people to the alligators now and then.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? And now it's sugar babies. You know what I'm saying? And our people was eating this madness, not knowing that they were making a mockery of them killing our babies. You know what I'm saying?
Machines and dope.
Exactly. Madness, man. You know what I'm saying? Get on verse 54.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
So a man that's tender among you and very delicate is talking about a young man. Right? Read.
His eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
I shall be what?
Evil toward his brother.
So we out here killing each other over the streets. Named after white men. You know what I'm saying? Killing each other over colors, bloods, crips. And this is the colors of the national flag. You know what I'm saying? Right? Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
We beat on our women. We call our women bees, hoes, sluts. To the point where now they done embraced it. I'm the baddest bee. You get what I'm saying? Like madness, right? Read.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
So we leave our children in record number. What's the saying in the hood? Mama's babies, daddy's babies. You know what I'm saying? It says the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. You know what I'm saying? Like you were speaking about earlier. How many of us grew up knowing a lot of people that grew up with their mom and their dad?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I mean? Get verse 64.
Verse 64. And the Most High shall scatter you among all people.
It shall do what?
Scatter you among all people.
So he scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth. Read.
From one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither your father, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So again, he let us know again. This is gonna be y'all people. This Christianity, this Islam. This is what y'all gonna be in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna serve these other guys, not having no idea what you're doing because you went against me. Get verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
And he said he's gonna bring us into Egypt again with ships, right? Now, what did Egypt represent in the scriptures? Bondage. Right? So we in bondage again, but we came over here on what? On ships, right?
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more
We
again.
didn't see this type of slave trade since then. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nowhere recorded in history like we just read in the script. It said this ain't happening to nobody else on the face of the planet, right? Read.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen,
So you're gonna be sold for slave man and slave woman. Read.
and no man shall buy you.
So that word buy in Hebrew means redeem. Malcolm X couldn't do it. Martin Luther King couldn't do it. Garvey couldn't do it. Turner couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? The only person that's gonna be able to do this is the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? So these are the curses of the Israelites. So if I ask you today, what are you?
Israelite.
Straight up and down. You know what I'm saying? The proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? I know you got your notes on the Esau thing?
Yeah, to clarify, because some say he, no, what, not some, well, it's two things out there. Is I know who he is, but it's how he got to be who he was. You know, I know he was a red herring, and some would confuse him as an albino.
Now go to that script, the Genesis, where they talking about him being
Just like clarify.
Okay. We'll start up with we can go 25, pick it up with verse 23. This is 25, 23.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, and verse 23. And the Most High said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
We already know this is the beginning of it.
Right.
Now, go ahead.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
There were what?
Twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Now remember, they use that word ruddy to describe Esau, right? But
Right.
David was also described as ruddy.
Right.
So was he albino? Not at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you look through, you got your joint in the Josephus where it talk about him being dark, and go to the joint in the script where it said he wasn't hid amongst
Egypt.
yeah.
Right. Okay, that would be 1 Kings, I believe, 11, 14 through 17. 1 Kings.
What that again? Kings of the King?
1 Kings 11. And we can pick this up at 14 through 17. I can read it. And the Most High stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite.
So Hadad the Edomite, right, was the adversary to Solomon. Now remember, Solomon was a king at this point. There's not many places you can get away from a king's sight. Right? Go ahead.
He was of the king's seed in Edom.
And this guy was of the king's seed in Edom. So he was directly correlated with the Edomites, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
For it came to pass, when David was in Edom,
When he was in where?
in Edom,
Uh-huh.
and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom.
Okay, read.
Verse 17. That Hadad
Hadad, the same one that was of the king's seed, right?
fled,
Uh-huh.
he and certain Edomites
Uh-huh.
of his father's servant with him, to go into Egypt.
So why would he go and hide into Egypt if his brother was a white man? You know what I'm saying? Like, Paul was mistaken for Egyptian. Moses was mistaken for Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? So when they try to use this, he was the white man. You know what I'm saying? With the white man doctrine, you're not getting away from the king going to hide amongst a bunch of brothers.
Right.
If you white. You know what I'm saying?
It's a precept that goes with that
Okay.
in the New Testament. Because this scripture here is where everybody says, well, when the Messiah was a baby, he fled to Egypt also, and that's to prove that he was black also.
No doubt.
And this is Matthew 2 and 13.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the master appeared unto Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and flee into
You
Egypt.
do what?
And flee into Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And be you there until I bring word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
Right, so this verse here is what everybody else they use, even Israelites use, to prove that the Messiah is black. Because he had to flee to Egypt, and at that time, Egypt was all black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that part of the world was all black. And it's another key in this verse, but it's a different story, but I'm going to pull it out. And it says, and when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Most High appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child. Now, we all know that that's the Messiah, but the Messiah was not given his name until he was circumcised. So he was called young child, that boy, that thing. That's just something, you know, just to bring out.
All right. Thank you, bro. I never heard that.
He was not given his name until he was circumcised.
Okay.
No doubt. What else do they say about this? Let's see if I can tell you about it.
You want to get that one in Josephus?
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This here, kill it.
Okay.
and after that, it's more or less, one I want to get out the way is the connection. Say, like when you come find Christians and Joe Witness, they like to tell you God love everybody. And you could tell them, well, no, but and they try to say the Old Testament is not this, but it's a key to it that leads back where Paul is talking, saying that I am Israel, and you know, what's the whole key to tying all that in?
Get that one joint, and then I'm gonna jump into what you were talking about.
Let me find out.
God love everybody thing, isn't it?
Oh, 270.
I come to learn not.
That thing right there has put a lot of our people under that bondage of that Christianity.
Yeah.
Well, you can do whatever you want to do. He love everybody.
You want to get this?
Yeah, get that.
Okay, this is a book called The Works of Josephus. Josephus was an Israelite, you could say, historian.
Exactly.
During the time of, around the time the land was destroyed, right?
70 AD.
Around 70 AD. And this is Antiquity of the Jews, but we're going to use the word Israelites. Antiquity of the Israelites is chapter 18, paragraph 270. It says, now when the supper was got ready, he took a goat skin and put it about his arms, that by reason of his hairy roughness, he might by his father be believed to be Esau. For they being twins, and in all things else alike.
And all things else are what?
Alike.
Other than what? His what?
His color. His hair.
His hair. Everything else of these two boys was the same except for his hair. Right, boy?
Differed only in this thing.
They only differed in the hair.
In the hair color.
So, with them saying that Esau is the white man, where do you get that from?
Not right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was right. Exactly. You know.
They can't clarify that.
And it pretty much comes from a twisted scripture where it says he came out red and hairy. But it don't say red and hairy. It said red like a hairy garment.
Exactly.
Right.
And the thing that the brothers get hung up on is the fact that the white man was our last captivity. This is who we know the most out of everybody that we went captive before this. You know what I'm saying? White man, the white man, the white man. You know what I'm saying? They done did this to us, that to us. So that's who we equating to, right? And not knowing that the trans-Saharan slave trade before this was even worse than this. You know what I'm saying? When they was cutting our heads off, shaving our heads off to be in Islam. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These people were way worse.
Walking across hot devils.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So let's deal with that God love everybody. I know my Aunt Quad can break down Esau being those Arabs the best. You know what I'm saying? Like he got the full understanding of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's get that God love. Go to Exodus 15 and 3.
The book of Exodus, chapter, you said 15?
Yep.
15 and verse 3. The Most High is a man of war.
He is a what?
A man of war.
So the Most High is a man of war, but he love everybody, right? Go to Romans chapter 9 and verse 13. He all about love, but the scripture say clearly he is a man of war. You know what I'm saying? He said he maketh alive and he kills. Right? Romans 9 and 13.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 13. As it is written,
As it is what?
written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
He is a man of love. Right? The scriptures plainly show that it's somebody that he clearly hates in the scripture. You know what I'm saying? He don't just love everybody. Right? Go to Exodus chapter 20. We're going to pick it up. We're going to go to the commandments. We're going to pick it up. show you this. It's something small. Exodus chapter 20 and verse. Verse 5. Now, dealing with Esau, he clearly hates Esau because Esau clearly hates him. You know what I'm saying? That's a hatred, right? Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Now, he was talking about the people that keep the commandments, right? These are the people that hate him, right? So read.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my
So
commandments.
it's only thousands of the people that love him and keep his commandments, right? Now, David was talking about he hates people with a perfect hatred. Now, the word perfect, when you talk about in the script, in order for him to say that, that means this has to be a hatred coming from the Most High.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when the people don't keep the commandments and show that they hate him, it's the same thing back. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about how Paul.
Paul had God forgot his people.
Oh, Romans, go to Romans 11.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 1. I say then, has the Most High cast away his people?
He said, have I cast away my people? Read.
Most High forbid.
He forbid. No, he ain't cast away his people, right? Read.
For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
Now this was Paul, right, speaking, right? Jump back to Romans chapter 9 and pick it up at the third verse.
Romans
A lot of
9.
people say, oh, it's spiritual Israel now. The people are gone now, you know what I'm saying? And I love to run to Paul for this. We're going to show him something. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the
He
flesh.
said his brethren, his kinsmen, according to the what?
To the flesh,
According to the flesh, who are who?
who are Israelites.
So again, in the New Testament, it says that this brother says he is kinsman to the flesh to these people who are what?
Israelites. To whom pertaineth the
So
adoption.
to the Israelites pertain the adoption of the Most High, right? Because remember, we did our madness back in Deuteronomy 28. You know what I'm saying? When we got them curses laid down to us, right? Read.
And the glory.
And the glory of the Most High pertains to the Israelites. Read.
And the covenant.
And the covenants of the Most High pertain to the Israelites. Now, a lot of people say we're in the new covenant. I'll show you that too. Read.
And the giving of the law.
And the what?
The giving of the law.
Read.
And the service of the Most High.
And the service of the Most High. Read.
And the promises.
So to the Israelites pertain these things, even though everybody try to make it seem like it's everybody else. To the Israelites pertain these things, right? Go to Hebrews chapter 8. I'm going to show you about these covenants. Because a lot of people, oh, we in the new covenant. So it's everybody now. We're not in the new covenant yet.
Right, that's what I'm talking about right there.
And even with the new covenant, it's certain people that he told that this covenant was for. Hebrews chapter 8, and we're going to pick it up at verse. Matter of fact, we're going to pick it up at verse 7.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless,
So he said the first covenant had been faultless, right? So he's speaking about the covenant that he came down and brought with him, you know what I'm saying, on Mount Sinai, right? The commandments, right?
then should no place have been sought for the second, for finding fault with them.
So he said, for then no place have been sought for the second covenant. So what we are getting ready to enter is into that second covenant. But we're not there yet, right? He said, for finding fault with who?
with them.
So because we broke the contract, now we have to have a new covenant, right?
He says, behold, the days come, says the Most High, when I will make,
When I what?
when I will make
When I will make. Read.
a new covenant
With who?
with the house of Israel
Uh-huh.
and with the house of Judah.
Did I say he's gonna make a covenant with everybody?
Israel,
He says, I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not with everybody on the face of the planet. Because the old covenant wasn't for everybody on the face of the planet, right? Read.
not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers
So this covenant is not gonna be according to the one that he made with our fathers. Read.
in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, says the Most High.
So he said, I'm not gonna make the same one when I brought, because they didn't regard, they ain't listen to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Read.
For verse 10, for this is the covenant that I will make,
That I what?
that I will make
That I will make. Read.
with the house of Israel. After those days,
I told you, hey, I will make them chicken later. I'm not saying I already made it. I'm saying I'm gonna make it. Right? Read.
after those days, says the Most High.
After what?
After those days,
After those days. After them last days is when we gonna make this covenant. Read.
says the Most High.
Uh-huh.
I will put my laws into their mind.
I will put my laws into their mind. So before we knew this knowledge, did we know that we were supposed to be keeping the commandments of the Most High? They wasn't written on us, right? They're not written on us right now. Even with us coming into this knowledge, we don't have the full understanding of all the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High wants to keep. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm going to write them in your mind, read.
And write them in their hearts.
And he's going to write them on our hearts. Right now, he said our heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. So the laws can't be on our heart right now if this thing is wicked. Right? Read.
And I will be to them a power,
Uh-huh.
and they shall be to me a people.
Read.
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor.
So right now, aren't we going through these scriptures, right? Teaching, being taught these scriptures. So this can't be the new covenant because he says what?
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor,
Uh-huh.
and every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High.
So they ain't going to be saying no the Most High because everybody is going to know, right?
For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins, and their iniquities will I remember no more.
Now remember, right now, when we go to this judgment that we have now, he says every secret thing that you have done, every work is going to come into judgment. Right here it says in this new covenant, he's not